All right, so hi, Logan Petlak here. I've been working on my major project, which is learning the piano, and I stumbled across, not really stumbled across, I saw on YouTube a bunch of people using this program called Synthesia, and it occurred to me that, hey, I should probably maybe use this thing or check it out and see what the deal is. So I already had a Casio keyboard purchased, and there should be a link associated with what one I pretty much have, and I picked that up about a year ago, and basically I had a USB cord that hooked into the back of it from the laptop and was able to basically sync what was on the keyboard onto my laptop, which was awesome. And that was with Synthesia. Synthesia basically just read that it was plugged into it, and I was good to go. Pretty much just plug and play. So what I wanted to just show you guys was with Synthesia, basically kind of how easy it was for me to set up. So I downloaded the program from the website Synthesia. There's a free trial version and a pay version, which was $29 American. I was like, that's easy, why not, even though it's the dollar is awful right now. But basically fired this up and took a look, and immediately when I first downloaded it, I went to play a song just to see what I could find. See, the ones down here weren't there yet, but in easiest is where I went because I wanted to start learning. I double clicked on that, and there was Jingle Bells, Hot Cross Buns, Chopsticks, a bunch of different ones I ended up playing with, but I went with Hot Cross Buns to start. And there's a little sample playing of it at the top if you can hear it. Very quietly. And then when you go into your, so you'll notice it says right hand. So if I go to watch and listen only, it'll play through the song for you. So I'm just watching it being played on the piano. So dun 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 dun. Getting it. But basically, if it was me playing at that point, if I went to practice the melody and double click on that, it would wait for me before it moved on from the next note until I played that specific note. Notice 11 out of 35. I didn't do very good to start, apparently, which was unfortunate. But after playing it about 4 times, I gained more points. And once it's 35 out of 35, it would recommend I go to the next level. You can see I jumped the gun and I went right to the next level anyway. And then once I'd be good enough at that one, I'd want to move on to the song recital. So these ones are just pre-uploaded, like Hot Cross Buns, pretty basic song. But what I took a look at was I noticed when I was downloading that you can upload your own MIDI files, MIDI files. And a lot of songs that we would, or that you might listen to on the radio and stuff, have MIDI file versions of them if you just look online. So the one that I looked up was Mr. Brightside by The Killers. So I just Googled MIDI version of Mr. Brightside by The Killers, and that's what I found on a website there. So I went to Mr. Brightside, double-clicked on it after downloading a file and putting it into my documents. And when I went to, sorry, I guess I'll backtrack so you can see what actually I did. I looked online on the Synthesia website. It told me what to do. It said go to Settings and go over to Songs, which is in the left here. And you'll notice I put see users Logan, that's me, / documents. I had 8 songs in there, and I clicked on it, and it just said include these songs in the song library. It does it by default, so I was good. And then when I backtracked and went back to my play a song list, there was Mr. Brightside sitting there waiting for me, which was great. I wanted to learn it. So go into this screen now. So initially I fired up the watch and listen only, and it had a whole bunch of different instruments playing. I was wondering, okay, well, how can I simplify it and make it easier? So I went to Hands, Colors, and Instruments, which is what it told me to do online in order to make it simpler. And you'll see, yeah, so there's 8 different instruments at work in this thing, but I just wanted to play the main riff of the song, which was this. That was the main thing I wanted to learn, and just kind of keep the main rhythm of the song going through. And yeah, so basically what I did was when I went to the watch and listen the first time, I saw all the separate tracks, and I clicked play next to these, and it tells me what each of the noises are. That's not the one I want. That's not the one I want. No, it was this one. So I went with that, and then what I went to was custom, which basically, as you can see, there's 2 hands there. So it sets it up for both my hands, and I customized, sorry, I went to back, and then, wait, no, I was in the right spot. Custom, good. And when I clicked on custom, it brought me to this page. So basically it fired up. So if I wanted to switch it up in the top left here, that's a left hand. And when I clicked on this guy, it would make it a left hand. So if I clicked on that one, it would make it a left hand, but I want it back to be right. So I'm going to switch it back to that. But basically that kind of walkthrough, it set up all the notes for the song for me, and it made it really easy for me to kind of look and say, okay, that's right, blue is left, R is green, and yeah, so made it really simple to set up the song for me. As you can see, I switched all these guys to hidden, so normally if they weren't, it would show up on the color on there as well. So when I go back to this one, the custom here, there's all these here, but the ones that I didn't make hidden, if I put a color on them, I would see all these other instruments playing at the same time when they hit their own respective notes and stuff. And it was just too much for me to look at, so this cleaned it up and made it look really easy. So I just focused on the one instrument I wanted to play and made everything else hidden. Apart from that, I started practicing it. And since I had a left hand and a right hand set up, it could tell me how I was doing on both of them, or if I wanted to practice them separately. And both hands wise, I started practicing it, and it started sounding pretty good. So I'm sitting, you can see I got a lot higher marks on this one. I would say the difficulty is a little bit higher than hot cross buns, but it was something I was a little bit more engaged in. And I think it's important to note that when you're engaged in something, you definitely commit to working at it a little bit more. And sorry, hot cross buns, but you just didn't do it for me. Apart from that, that's kind of what I've been observing with it so far and what I did tonight. And so far, really enjoying this, really enjoying the program. So definitely, if you're thinking about learning piano and you're willing to invest in a decent keyboard, I think when it all worked out, probably looking at maybe $200 to get this program and the keyboard, and that's a sweet deal. So really happy with it so far, and hopefully I can keep learning a couple songs that I'm interested in. And it's probably going to go in the high school gamer in me is going to want to learn some video game songs from back in the day. So it should be good. We'll see how it sounds. Logan, out of here. Bye bye.